Talk about ticking boxes. Boy, India have ticked pretty much every single one. They take this home series against Australia as we look back at a very entertaining game in Indore, this three-match series ahead of the World Cup on ESPN Cricinfo Match Day with Piyush Chawla. So let's start with the boxes one by one, Piyush. And let's start with the big box of Shreyas Iyer. We finally saw the best of him today. And I guess how much this 100 means to him after everything he's gone through. What stood out from his innings for you?
Well, for me, the best part of his inning was he was under a lot of pressure because there was so much happening around him, as you mentioned, in last 6 to 8 months. But the way he came and the intent was very clear. When the ball was in his area, he was going for a shot. So that was the best thing because when you are under pressure, it's very difficult to play such kind of innings. But he batted beautifully.
Is this a fair game to judge this? But do you sense he's gotten a lot better at the short ball, or can't we can't really say that after a game like this?
He definitely worked on his short ball, and if you see the way he batted today, he was like totally into the control. And when you get like 90 ball, 100, so like you're totally in control of the game. That's how you play this kind of innings.
Now, the fact that India did not let go of the opportunity to get well in excess of 370, 380, nearly 400 was down to Surya Kumar Yadav, Piyush. Two fifties in his first six innings in ODI cricket. Then he went about 20 games without getting one. Now he's got back to back 50s. And I guess this is the reason that the team was willing to back him. Surya, in these situations, can give you that 20, 30 extra. What happens now? Now that you've seen him bat like this, what happens? What do we do with Surya Kumar Yadav now?
Well, as I always mention that he's somebody who is a match winner for you. He's a pure match winner. Or today also, if you see today's game, so at one point of time, India looked like getting 350, 360, but because of that knock, India ended up getting around 400 runs, 399 on the board. So for me, he's somebody who can give you that extra cushion with 20 runs. But looking at the team's combination, it will be difficult for him to, start straight away in the 11. But again, as we always say, good headache to have.
Okay, I'm going to come to the what is a really difficult playing 11 to pick for this last ODI in a bit for when we look ahead to that game. But let's talk about the other box ticked. Uh, R. Ashwin, is that exactly what you wanted to see from R. Ashwin once you've called him back so close to the World Cup and how he bowled?
He bowled beautifully on this particular track because it wasn't that easy. Although it was spinning a bit in the second innings, but still, if you see Sean Abbott, the way he batted, the ball was still coming onto the bat very nicely and getting those couple of wickets up front. It really, breaks the back of any team when you're chasing such a big target. So he bowled really well. Even in the last game, the pitch was flat. He bowled 10 overs for 47 odd runs. Today also he bowled beautifully. So I think that box is also ticked for me.
Yeah, that contest with David Warner is almost an event in itself. The fact that Warner went right-handed and then tried to play what was the reverse or the switch hit of a right-handed batter. Forget the bizarre nature of the dismissal, but where do you sense Ashwin managed to win that? Because that clearly looked like a contest that Ashwin was ready for, up for, and he got the better out of Warner eventually.
At that particular time, they needed like 10 runs, more than 10 runs per over. So at that particular stage, the batter is going to go after you. And we have seen Warner doing that earlier as well against the off spinners. So that's what he was trying to do today to upset the rhythm of the bowler. But Ashwin is a too clever of a bowler to, get upset by all these things. And eventually he won that battle.
Do you sense he's done anything different to his white ball or ODI game, R. Ashwin Piyush? I thought there was a slight difference in his action in the last game. Today we saw more of the classical Ashwin. There is also this variation that looks like a carom ball, but it actually seems to come in almost like an in swinger. Can you anything that you've noticed which is different?
Well, if you talk about the last game pitch was really flat. So he was just doing all those variations. But today there was enough help from the pitch. So he just, he was trying to exploit that. And if you talk about that in swinger, I've seen him bowling that earlier also. And that carom, he bowled few carom which literally went like a leg spinner. So he was not doing anything extra special in on that particular pitch. He was just playing with his variations on that in that game.
You know the Holker Stadium quite well. We've seen big scores over there. How did it suddenly start looking like a day four turner, Piyush, in that second innings?
Seriously, I have no clue what exactly happened there because in first inning it looked like a belter, and second innings when I was watching it straight away started spinning. So many balls which Ashwin bowled, even the carom ball and the off spinner, he was beating the batter from outside edge, inside edge, and even when Jadeja came, he was beating all the batters. Literally few balls from the fifth, sixth stump went to the slip without nicking anything. So I don't know how it had happened, but it happened in a good way for India.
I think it's left Australia also scratching their head. They did win the toss and choose to bowl. We've seen two games now, Piyush. So let's do an assessment of Australia here as well. I don't know if it's easy to do an assessment given they too are missing a number of first team players. They're trying and testing different things too. But just let's start with their batting. The fact that we haven't quite seen the best of Australia with the bat in either ODI. What do you think is missing?
I think the intent, because nowadays cricket has become, so fast that intent has to be there. If you come into bat, no matter, even if you don't get a single on that particular ball, but if you just hit the middle of the bat, that intent and that gives a lot of confidence. But I didn't see any intent because last game, Shami bowled brilliantly, but this game, when you need 400 runs, the intent has to be there, but I didn't see that.
And as we talk about their bowlers too, they're missing that second spinner, aren't they, Piyush? Will they be a completely different team once they have Ashton Agar back in the World Cup? And what have you made of their bowling? India have seemed relatively comfortable in both these ODIs so far.
This is not the first lineup of their bowling attack because Mitchell Stark is not there today. Pat Cummins was not there. Hazelwood bowled really well, but once all of them are back in the squad, they look like a totally different bowling side.